Um, so I'm Dr. Tom Miller, and I'm located here at 22 South Main Street here in Pleasantville, New Jersey. And I've been in practice for now for, gosh, 37 years. Um, and it's just been a great experience to be able to come into a community and really, over the course of these 37 years, just constantly committing and recommitting on every single day to help to educate people about the wonders of chiropractic and how it actually transformed my life. And I'll just get into a little bit before we get into the topic, and hopefully maybe more people will come on board. But as a young child growing up, I suffered with asthma really bad, and all I can recall was, as a young child, my mother, constantly taking me back and forth to doctors, because of the severe allergies and then eventually the asthma. And it was really a really tough time, because I can certainly recall the experiences of when those asthma attacks began. My chest would tighten up. I could hardly breathe, and it was very difficult. I mean, I don't know if anybody out there has asthma or had the experience of going through an asthmatic attack. And when we were growing up, we didn't have the air conditioning. We didn't have, all we had was fans blowing hot air into our rooms. And then I remember, as a young person, going to high school, and during the summers, I remember our football team would go up to, hello Angela, good to see you there. We would go up to the Poconos and playing football, and then you can imagine hot in the summertime, and you're out there and the dust is kicking up, and then boom, before you know it, I'm back into an asthmatic attack. So when I was 19, I was introduced to chiropractic by a friend of mine, and not knowing much of anything, I just went on their word, and I went to see a good friend of mine now, who I've been, it's been adjusting me for, since I was 19. So now we're talking, I'm 68 now. Well, excuse me, 69, just turned 69. And so you can do the math. It's been a long time that I've been under chiropractic care, and I typically get adjusted once a week. And when I was under the care of Dr. Marty Brown, who I really owe a lot of gratitude to for educating me about chiropractic, and then also becoming my chiropractor. And it was through that process of getting adjusted with him, by him, where over a period of 6 months, my asthmatic attacks really got lesser and lesser, to the point where they just pretty much went away. And also taught me a lot about eating, because that's one thing we're going to talk about during this period of time too, about how eating and exercise are going to be a big part of the whole wellness process. And we talk about the 6 ways to treat, promote, and improve human health. So, long story short, started getting adjusted. I came off of all of the medications that I was on, and at that time growing up, that's all I knew. If I had known about chiropractic at a younger age, I'm sure that I would have taken that route, especially knowing what it was able to do for me. So, chiropractic has literally changed my life in terms of being able to get healthy, stay healthy. My theory is that chiropractic is really something that helps people get well, stay well, and then offer them the opportunity to live the best life possible. So over the next few weeks, we are going to be doing this web seminar that we are putting on, or web class, the second and fourth Tuesday, hopefully, of every month, from 6 to 6:30. Okay, and so over this period of time, we're going to be talking about some of the things I want to discuss with you and share with you, and also in the comments, you can actually type in the comment, question, whatever, and we'll see how we can move forward with that. But we really wanted this to be interactive with everyone out there, and we'll go in that fashion. So over this period of time, we're going to be talking about those 6 ways that we can care for, or we can use the word treat, I don't like using the word treat, but in chiropractic, because I don't think we treat anything. We actually help care for people. Um, but we're talking about promoting and improving human health. And I think it's a critical thing to look at now, especially when we look at what we've all been going through for the last 2 years with this pandemic, in terms of what it has done to people. And I know that for me, and I know that, for my family and for, just about everyone I know, really have gone through a lot of stress over that period of time. The stress of not knowing what to do, where to go, if you can go here, if you can't go there, if just all kinds of crazy things went on. And I think that it produced a lot of stress in people's lives. So that's going to be an important thing to look at as we go through these topics. So we're going to be talking about exercise, okay? I'm just going to go through and share with you what we're going to be talking about. So exercise, we're going to be looking at nutrition and diet. We're going to look at the medical chemical, aspect of improving human health, surgery, and also we're going to look at the emotional, mental aspect, because remember, the mental emotional aspect can also create a lot of stressors in our lives. I mean, as a matter of fact, there was a study that was just brought out where insurance companies were able to look at the death rates, and this is going back during the years of the last 2 years. They found that people from ages, I think it was like 18 to 40 something or 50, the increase in death has gone up by 40%, which obviously insurance companies, are looking at that information because they got to deal with that in terms of what they pay out and things like that. And this is, and prior to this pandemic thing, they basically said that we would be alarmed if we saw a 10% increase. But here we are today, over the last 2 years, the increase in death has gone up over 40% with young, people are 18 to 40 some odd years, and I can't remember the exact cutoff at the higher age. But anyway, so stress is a major factor, and we're going to be talking about that as it relates to your emotional and mental health. And then we're going to get into the structural, biomechanical, and that's where we look at in terms of chiropractic, because we want to really help you understand the connection, the brain-body connection, mind-body connection, as the brain, spinal cord, nerve system impacts human health. And I'm a firm believer, after going through what I experienced with asthma, that in my opinion, I think that chiropractic should be a part of every single person's life on the planet. I really do. And I'm not saying that because I am a chiropractor, but I'm saying it because I've seen the experiences over the course of my 37 years in practice, seeing people coming in and out of my office with all kinds of conditions, and that when we are able to remove the nerve interference from the spine, and this is just a little model here, 2 segments of the spine. We have inside here the spinal cord. On the side we have the spinal nerves, and you see this little flickering light there. And what's important is that these vertebrae will move back and forth. Okay, when they move out of alignment to the vertebra below or one above it, we call that a subluxation. And the subluxation is a minor misalignment which puts pressure on the nerve, causes irritation, and over time will cause that nerve system at whatever level to start to malfunction, which means your visceral organs will also be impacted by that, meaning that if it's going to your stomach, your heart, kidney, spleen, whatever, they will be impacted, even though you may not feel anything related to that at that time, because many times, as we know, with all the nerves in the human body, there's only about 1/10 of all nerves in the body that send out signals for pain. The rest are there basically to help you maintain balance, maintain homeostasis, okay? So it's important that we understand that, and we're going to, as time goes on, we're going to get into that. So to start with, let's talk a little bit about exercise. And as we go through this, I'm also going to share with you exercise is extremely important, but I'm also going to always relate it back to your spine and nerve system, because remember this, that you can be in the best shape of your life. You can go to the gym 5, 6 days a week, work out like crazy. But if your neurology, because of your spine, is not in proper alignment, then it's going to have an impact, a negative impact on your health. Okay, so it's kind of like, it's kind of like getting your car tuned up. Everything is ready to rock and roll, but your front end of your tires on the car are out of alignment. Okay, so if those tires are out of alignment, then even though that engine may be working, that car is not going to ride very well for a long, for an extended period of time, because we have to make sure that we have to get those tires in proper alignment, because if they're not, they're going to wear out unevenly and potentially could cause some damage to other parts of the car, or potentially the tire could blow out because of the wear and tear unevenly on those tires. You could have a blowout, wind up having an accident that could have been avoided had you gone through a process of making sure that everything was in alignment. Okay, so I say that because it's important. We know that exercise has been proven to help reduce heart disease. Okay, something as simple as getting out walking 20-30 minutes every single day is going to be very beneficial to you. It's going to help to improve your mental capacity. Like I know for myself, there are days, I'm in the gym 6 days a week, okay? And I really love it. Are there days that I don't want to go? Absolutely, but I get up and I go. But the amazing thing is this, is that when I do go and I go through that workout, when I'm done, mentally I feel so much better. I usually get up in the morning, and I tell you, years ago I would get up very early, take my boys to the gym and work out. Then once they graduated from high school and stuff, I kind of got away from it and would go in the afternoon. But now I'm back doing the exercises in the morning. So I get up, generally I like to be at the gym between 6 o'clock and 6:30. And I like to get that whole hour in. I have a routine laid out. And what I notice is this, that when I'm working out, and I know that other people out there who have experienced this, when you work out, you just feel better all over. Okay? And just keep in mind that when you first start to work out, you're going to feel a little bit of soreness, right? So it's good for improving your circulation. Okay, believe it or not, when you work out, it literally increases your energy. Okay, which is a good thing. It also improves brain function. As your body's working, you're getting blood flow to all parts of the body. I like the idea of it also as we age. I have a sign up on my wall in my adjusting area, and it says, living the 100-year lifestyle. And I love that concept because, if we could frame people and future pace them to really think about putting their bodies in a position to be in great physical shape, so that as they age, they're able to do the things that they like to do. So one of the things that I've learned over the years being in practice, and something I share with my patients, is that as you get older, my philosophy is that you should be working out more. Okay, why? Well, I just think that as we age, there automatically is a mindset of the people around us. They start to slow down. They start thinking that, I'm getting older now, so I can't do X, Y, or Z. And I think it's a mistake. Now, what I think is this, there's a way for us to work out and work out intelligently, all right? So I used to go to the gym years ago when I was younger, and I could spend 2 hours in the gym. Now I've learned over the years that I don't have to spend 2 hours in the gym, and I really didn't need to spend 2 hours in the gym 25, 30 years ago if I knew what I know now, okay? So you learn. And so with that learning, I try to share that with younger people as they're moving in and out, going to the gym. And so the whole idea is, as we age, and this is going to be really, really important for women, when we talk about your bones, in order for your body and your bones to become stronger, stay stronger, they need to have weight-bearing exercises. So that means you're going to have to lift weights, something that's going to put pressure and stress on the joints and your bones to help them get stronger. Okay, The other thing, when we think about exercise, we want to make sure that we're doing exercises to keep the muscularity strong, keep it balanced, right? So that you have great symmetry, okay? So to me, when I say symmetry, I'm talking about symmetry throughout the entire system. Your shoulders, your back, your arms, your biceps, your triceps. When we look down at the chest, your stomach, okay, the core area, in your legs, you want your legs to be strong, so that as we get older, you have the energy and force to be able to push you up to get up when you need to get up, okay? And I'm a firm believer. I'm a firm believer that you can do this. I have a patient that comes in here, great friend of mine. I mean, he's a patient, and I think my good friend Frank is probably 92, 93 years old, but this guy to me is like a living example of what life can be like if you stay engaged, okay, stay active, and your exercise can be, it could be like this guy loves to go fishing. He just does he likes to golf. So he's doing things to keep himself engaged, okay? And while I'm on that word engaged, if you have any questions out there, we really, 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 as I'm talking here, if you have any comments or whatever, just put them in the comment box. And if I need, want me to answer any questions, I'll be more than happy to. But the point is this. I think it's important to start out young when it comes to your exercise and getting your body in great health. Just like I believe it's a very, very important thing to get children started under chiropractic care at an early age. So my sons, I started getting them adjusted when they were babies. When I say babies, I mean babies. And I've been adjusting them all these years. And as a matter of fact, I just today adjusted my son Tyler, okay? But they, when my son Reese is home, I make sure he gets adjusted. My wife gets adjusted at least once a week. And my philosophy is that I believe that by keeping your spine in proper alignment, you're going to make your exercise program work more efficiently. So think about this. If you take most of the world-class athletes, I would bet if you go and do the studies, because I have looked at it, the majority of them are under chiropractic care. And why? Because they know that in order for them to function better at what they do, through they're exercising and then getting into whatever they play, basketball, football, track, whatever the sport is, by keeping your neurology functioning properly, by keeping your spine in proper alignment, that brain to body connection is going to be more powerful. You understand? There was a study that was done years ago where they showed that they took a group of athletes. One group they put under care for 3 days a week for, I think it was like maybe 8 weeks. And then another group they put under care for 12 weeks. And then there was another group that didn't. So what was interesting, after 12 weeks of studying those guys who was getting adjusted 3 days a week for a period of 12 weeks, that their performance increased by like 17%. So think about that. If you're an athlete, okay, and if you're a good athlete that really is like the idea of really getting better as you go through the process of doing what you do as an athlete, whether it's a elementary school athlete, high school athlete, a college athlete, or a pro athlete, okay, you'll find that it is one of the best things that you can do, or that you would want to do, if it's going to give you the edge over your competition. All right. So for me, I know, when I go to my chiropractor to get adjusted, honestly, I tell you, I don't go. I mean, I had an incident happen to me, back in 2017, was in an auto accident, and I had to go to a chiropractor. I had some pain then, but for the most part, most of my life that I've been under chiropractic care, getting adjusted once, twice, 3 times a week, I rarely will ever miss a week to get adjusted. And it has nothing to do, in most cases, has nothing to do with pain, neck pain, back pain, all that stuff. I do it because I know that when my spine is in proper alignment, okay, when these bones are lined up, that my body's going to perform better. It's going to function better, okay? And that's what I want. I want that for myself. I want it for my wife. I want it for my children. I want it for my family. As a matter of fact, my mom and my pop, all of my sisters and brothers that live here in the area, they all come in and get adjusted, okay? So, I'm a big advocate of it, and then I also want it for my patients in the community. I would love to, it's interesting, I think about this sometimes. It would be great if there was a study that could be done where, especially within the school systems, if school systems were permitted or allowed all of their students to get adjusted once a week, and just watch their performance over the course of a year and see what would happen. I would bet that you would see things change dramatically. Okay, the same thing with athletes. If you have a child or someone, whether in elementary school, middle school, high school, or college, getting them adjusted on a regular basis. And I know it works because I have students who come to me who've played in high school, then later going on to college, and I've had some of them who've actually gone on and played in the pros. Okay, and so I know it works. Okay, so getting back to the exercise, it's important to know this, that exercise is very important, but as we tie the exercise into your spine and nerve system, that you want to make sure that along with your going to the gym and working out, whether you're doing yoga, playing tennis, no matter what the sport is, no matter what it is, it's important that you get your spine adjusted. I mean, I'm telling you, you take guys like Tiger Woods, you name the athletes, they're out there, they're getting adjusted on a regular basis. Okay, and in most cases, as I said before, they're doing it. Some of them may be doing it because of back pain initially or whatever, but now most of them are doing it because they realize that it improves their performance and it keeps them fine-tuned. I mean, I remember the great running back Emmitt Smith talked about how when he was under chiropractic care throughout his whole NFL career, he attributed his going to his chiropractor, which really made his life work better and also caused his career to last as long as it did. Okay, so again, exercise very critical, but at the same time, it's important that you tie that into making sure that your spine and nerve system is working properly so that you can increase and have better performance. The next thing we talk about is going to be nutrition, and we have about 7 minutes to go. And I'm going to jump into this, and then we're going to come back and tie into it in 2 weeks. Okay, so nutrition and diet. So I like to call it a lifestyle because to me, eating properly is really an important thing. And I'm going to tell you that a confession that I have is that one of the biggest issues, and I think it's something that we grew up with in our family. My parents, their philosophy growing up was that if you eat all your food, you can have dessert. Well, I don't know how many of you thought about that, or if you had that experience in your family. So with that mindset over the years, I did a great job of finishing my food. Why? Because I wanted to get some dessert. So I'm here to tell you today that, it's important that we really start thinking more clearly about our diets in terms of our lifestyle, our eating lifestyle and habits, because I think one of the biggest issues that we have in America today and around the world now, because we've become global in how we handle and how we do things, but we are a country now where we eat a lot of processed foods, and we know that if we look at the neurology of the human being with the gut biome and how the body works, that there are a lot of foods on the market today that your brain and nerve system have no idea what it is, and so therefore it has a tough time trying to figure out what things to produce to break it down and process it. So many times when we put things into the body, when we talk again about our nutrition and diet, many times when we put things in the body, it may be received as a toxin. Okay, and so what is it going to do? It's going to encapsulate that toxin with fat, and it's going to store it somewhere. Okay, and just a theory of mine. I think that when I look back and look over life now, and I see young kids who come to the office, and I look at how much weight they're carrying on them now compared to when I was in elementary school. I tell you, when I was going to elementary school, you could there really weren't that many people in our classes that were overweight or obese, but today it's become rampant, and I think it's one of the problems that we're going to see going forward And we know it's true because even when you look at the diabetes, type 2 diabetes, where years ago it was a disease that affected people in their 40s and 50s and 60s. But now, because of all the processed foods, and I think that, especially with the sodas and soft drinks that young kids eat a lot, drink a lot of, we've started seeing, and I know it's out there in terms of the studies, that you have more kids in their early years, 8, 9, 10 years old, coming down with type 2 diabetes, where years ago was never even heard of. Okay, and I think to me, it's very sad, in that we would allow our children to partake in that kind of thing, that we knowingly that is going to kill our kids. It's just going to lead to not only causing them to have really bad health issues, but we're talking about having health issues that are going to be around for a long period of time. Okay, just much like we see now, with again, I think I can tie all this back into nutrition and diet, with what we see happen with Alzheimer's and dementia. For me, I'm a firm believer, and I may be wrong, but I really believe that in my experience of treating and taking care of patients for the last 37, 38 years, that a lot of that is coming from diet. And again, I think that the biggest culprit, in my opinion, is the processed foods with the saturated fats and also the sugar. Okay, sugar, and look, I can tell you this from my own experience. Sugar is so addictive. Okay, and the problem with sugar, and we see it with our children, once you start eating that, then it becomes very difficult to want to eat something else. Okay, and then the more sugar you eat, your body doesn't produce the hormone leptin to tell you that you're full. So you just keep going back, and you just keep going back, and before you know it, you're going to see that all that food that you've eaten now becomes stored as fat in certain parts of the body. Then we start developing problems with our liver, we call it fatty liver. Then we start developing problems with our pancreas, and we become insulin, resistant. And next thing you know, you're on some type of diabetic, high blood pressure medications, something to help control your A1C, and all that stuff sounds great, but the real thing is learning how to eat the right foods. Okay, so we know that today, and especially in some communities, they call them food deserts, people are not getting the right types of nutrient-dense foods that they need in order for them to function well. And going back a little bit further, we talked about, let's say you ate the best food on the planet. Okay, very and great. It's an important thing. But my theory and my philosophy is that when I'm eating good and I'm doing all this stuff, I also want to make sure that I get to my chiropractor on a weekly basis to make sure that my spine is in proper alignment. Because again, in order for me to digest and process this food and then evacuate it, my nervous system has to be in great functioning order. And so, along with the good eating, it's important to make sure that we go through the process of putting the right foods in. And yes, I'm seeing here Monique Green, good to see you there. Very important. She brought a point up, eating right and also detoxifying the body. And so that is so true and so critical. And we're going to get into that some more. We're actually coming down to about 1 more minute, and we're going to have to close off for tonight. But I want you to know that when we come back on here in 2 weeks, we're going to get back into that whole thing about the nutrition, diet, eating right, and also how do we go through the process of detoxifying the body. What do we need to do? What are some of the things that we can do to make that possible? So between now and then, what I'd like to do is offer any of you out there who are listening, who are not patients right now, that if you'd like to come to the office for a complimentary consultation and evaluation, just give us a call at our office at 609-383-9121 and share this video with all of your friends, all your contacts. And just be on the lookout. We're going to be back here again on 2 weeks from now. Today is the 12th, so it'll be on the 26th of April at 6 p.m. We'll be back here, and we're going to be talking. We're going to share. This is going to be an ongoing thing. We used to do these workshops and talks in our office, but because of all the stuff that's been going on with the COVID crisis and all that, we decided to start doing these online for now. And please invite people out, and we look forward to seeing you back in 2 weeks from now. So have a great evening, and God bless all of you. Thank you.